Hi, everyone. My name is Shiny Zenny. You can just call me Zenny. I do speedruns of Super Metroid. I'm also joined by my good friend Zoast here, if you want to say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, so I had a run yesterday that was really, really funny. It was really good, and then it was really bad, and then it was really good. So uh, I'm pretty confident this is the best worst run I've ever had. So we're gonna watch it, and it's gonna be really funny. And I'm gonna be pointing out a lot of stuff. And another thing about this is I want to take probably a long time, so bear with me here. I want to talk about resource management in speedrunning this game because it's one of those things that really is not obvious to most people until they've started running the game. Like, it wasn't even obvious to me until a couple years after I started running the game. And I would be like trying to improve my times and, copying high level runs and being like, why are they stopping here? Why are they doing that? And I would try to not like farm in a spot or something, and it would go very badly. And that's when I realized like how important it is, because it really is this cascading effect through like the entire run, where if you don't get like the type of ammo that you need or the type of energy that you need or whatever, it just everything snowballs into this big mess of badness, right? And I think Zos can probably speak to that too. Like, I'm sure you have had plenty of runs that had a ton of potential and then you just didn't get drops and it was over. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. So I'm gonna push play here, and I'll need to lower the audio a little bit because I don't want to not have my voice in this review, just because some of my reactions here are really funny. But also, I don't want to like fight with myself either, have Zost and I fight over my voice. So I'll be lowering the audio, and if chat can just tell me to raise it or lower it or whatever, that'd be great. So, well, I mean, his PB is lower than that. Okay. But so maybe he meant like a D-Rust PB, and I mean, like the start of level, really like any Super Metroid run, like it's going to be kind of the same type of thing from the start, like right? So there's not going to be a whole lot to talk about for the first few minutes. So I guess Zost and I can just like BS through this, but I mean, just a little bit of background here. So I do have the current any percent world record. The current time is a 40:22, and basically that run at the time was very, very, very good, and it is still very, very, very good. But I know I can beat it, and so I've been working on that. I've been working really hard, but also like life is hard, and so there's ups and downs to the grind, and it's just been it's been a thing, right? I've been working on it for about a year at this point, and I've had a handful of runs that had really good potential, and this was one of them. But yeah, like that's just kind of where we're at. There's pretty big potential to beat the record because of some fairly large time saves in terms of strats that we're using now that we weren't using when I got the previous record, but it's still very, very optimized, very difficult to beat. So
what strats are you talking about exactly?
So we can save about 9 seconds on the Ridley fight compared to the fight that I got in the current record. That's definitely the biggest thing, and the change there is that we can do 5 X factors at the start of the fight.
Was that not a thing when you got the 40/20, or you just didn't get it?
Well, so the 5 X factor strat was known, but it wasn't optimized, it wasn't consistent, and the bigger problem is that we didn't have a good way to farm the extra power bomb before Ridley, and so I just didn't even bother at the time. So yeah, when I got the 40/22, I was all in on the 4X fight, and the 4X fight that I got in the 40/22 was nearly perfect. It was like 1 or 2 seconds slower than the best fight that I got in practice, which is very good for a run setting.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. So I mean, your average fight is going to be probably 5 or 6 or even 7 seconds at best, slower than your best fight in practice. So like I remember in the 40/22, like I got that fight And I think I even made a comment like that wasn't quite perfect, but it almost was, or, you know, something like that. And it didn't have record potential. Basically, like, it may as well have been for how intense it felt at the time. It was like, oh, like this just got extremely real when that happened. So anyway, all that being said, like, this grind has definitely had ups and downs, and as funny as this is, because this run ended up being so bad, I would say it has definitely been a huge highlight of the grind. So I'm happy to like talk about it and hopefully laugh about it. One thing that I'm really proud of is when I started running this game, I was very much focused on like all the best strats all the time, no exceptions. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm consistent at it or not. And I started pulling back on that after a few years and started really focusing more on consistency. And then the past probably year and a half or 2 years, I've started leaning more into going for more aggressive strats more often. And one of the ways that that has manifested in this any percent grind is that my early games are actually a lot better than they were a few years ago, which is really interesting to think about, because a few years ago, I already felt like I had a very, very good early game, and now I feel like I just put that to shame a lot of the time. So, I don't remember what this bomb's time ended up being, but like, okay, so like there's some little, you know, mistakes here. So I think it's like a 439 or something, which with those mistakes is very good. Like, it really, my climb has gotten a lot better. My series is a lot more consistent now. I don't know. There's a lot of aspects to it. So, okay, yeah. So 439 bombs here. The splits are up here in the top right. My silly face is over here on the left. Game is here in the middle. So, and then chat is up here on the left. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, every once in a while I'm going to be pausing so that I can talk about something. So we'll just use this as a brief example. So when I pause, I might do something like circle, you know, the ammo type that we're looking at. Or I also might do something like make chat bigger. Or I might make my face bigger. So just keep that in mind. Like, I have some ways to show cool, weird stuff that's going on. I don't know. What else should we talk about, Zoast? We need to fill the time for a few more minutes.
Well, I was just thinking. I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that my early game also was improving before I switched to hitbox, of course. But you know, I remember when I was over at your house and you kind of you were a little impressed by my climb because I was getting some good times in the practice ROM. And
like last year?
Yeah, last year when I was over there, yeah. And it's crazy to think that, like, after 12 years or 13 years that I was still getting better at my wall jumps. You know,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a bad thing. Maybe I should have maxed it out earlier instead of still being improving after so long. But
well, I mean,
it's pretty cool, though.
You know, kind of what that comes down to is the idea that, like, it all depends on where your priorities are. And in this game, not that early game isn't important, but the game is so much more likely to die in late game that I think kind of practicing late game more often makes sense in that way. Okay, so I'm pausing here because I want to talk about this. This is kind of like, this is the moment in the run when my brain starts the resource management thing here. Okay, there's going to be an overarching theme of resource management as we go through this run. So the first thing I want to say is that any room that has these hopper enemies, okay, these ones down here, when you enter a room that has hopper enemies like this, the RNG value gets normalized, okay? So if you do the same thing or roughly the same thing in the room every time, you're going to get the same drops every time. We're going to use this in a room later, but I've actually started using specific types of strats in this room as well. And the reason for that is because since one round Fantoons are now like the normal thing that people should go for if they're trying to get world record in this category, we need to make sure that we have missiles as much as possible. So I'm approaching this room in the way that I do specifically to try and get a missile drop up here at the top. Now, I don't remember if I got a missile drop. So let's see here. This was a small energy drop. Okay, so we're already getting kind of scammed here in this run. So, small energy memes again. Small energy memes again. All the freaking time. So, since I got small energy here, now basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hoping that I get either a big energy or a missile drop from the Rayo in this room. I actually changed the strat that I do in this room based on the resources that I have entering this room. And that's something that isn't obvious to people that wouldn't know it. Now, that Rayo decided to drop us the worst thing, which was a nothing drop. We got literally nothing from this Rayo. We got nothing, okay? So now I have not full energy and I have 0 missiles, okay? This is a problem. It's not a huge problem, but it does mean, for example, when we get to Fantoon, I actually don't really want a fast pattern anymore because we're less likely to get enough missiles to get a 1 round if it's a fast pattern. I would rather that it be a mid pattern because that gives us more opportunities to get a missile drop from one of his flames before we actually start trying to kill him, right? So again, like, I really have wanted to talk about this for a long time because there are aspects to running this game that are so like not obvious. And it's just crazy to me how deep this stuff gets. Okay. This room again has the hopper enemies. So the RNG is normalized in this room. So I've had questions over the past couple of years. People ask why I don't mockball in this room anymore. And the reason is because we have normalized drops. Okay. So I'm breaking spin and holding a charge and then releasing these charge shots in a very specific way to get specific drops from these hoppers. So that first one was a big energy. So now we are full on our energy, which means that this next drop will be a missile, assuming that this charge shot hits the hopper on one of the correct frames. So there was a missile drop. So now we have 7 missiles. And go ahead.
Are there clusters of frames here that have good drops, or is it frame perfect?
No, it's not frame perfect. It's definitely not frame perfect. There are clusters of frames for the drops that you want. That being said, if you have full energy, that makes it so that missiles are much more likely. If I didn't have full energy, that second hopper would have dropped me a small energy instead of a missile, because of the way that the drop tables change depending on what your current resources are. So that's another subtle nuance that I didn't even think to talk about. So thank you, Zoast.
You're welcome. The chat said I was low. I don't know if you saw that too.
Your voice?
Yeah, they said I was a little low now.
Okay. I can boost that real quick. That'll be real easy. Just give me a second.
I know you're focused on explaining everything.
No, that's totally fine. Just let me know if we need to boost him a little bit again. Sorry, I'm trying to watch chat, but like it's a hard thing because there's a lot to talk about. So, okay. So this is one of the strats that I've really improved on, Ripper Skipper. So we did get a good Ripper Skipper here, so that's great. And then I bonked the door, so we're doing the slower deboost strat through here. And then I think I got the Super Weave. Yeah, okay, so that strat is way harder than it looks, but I've gotten pretty good at it. Okay, so split time. I should have made a way to make splits bigger, but I didn't, and it's too late now. So we are -2 seconds right now on the splits. And some other stats down here. So this is our 25th best pace, which is actually really good considering that I've done over 9,000 runs. So this is a really, really good pace. It's not like God tier pace, but it's really good. And at this point, if things go well, this run definitely has world record potential. Good. So I have hidden chat at this point so that I can focus in this run. There's a message here saying I hid chat so I could focus on the run. And we're going to climb up here. We're going to get a super missile here. And actually, it's worth talking about that. I don't need to go back and show, but there are 2 CAC attacks there, and usually if we farm both, we'll get 2 super missiles. So why don't we farm both of them? It takes about a whole second to farm that first one, and it's pretty likely that you're going to get enough supers that it wouldn't make a difference. So rather than eating that 1 second of time save, I usually opt to skip it. There's a little movement mistake there. I'm hoping for a CWJ here. I jumped too early. So that's, you know, a little frustrating. And you can see on my face, like I was a little frustrated there. Because I've been trying to get to Fantoon on good pace and then get a good 1 round and then not screw up wreck ship for a long time. I've only had a couple runs where I'd managed to do that over the past year because it's hard. It's really hard. But I've gotten pretty good at shaking that kind of stuff off. So I'm pretty...
You were talking about...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you were talking about leaving yourself with not full supers there. The way I like to describe that is giving yourself a chance to be lucky. So if Fantoon drops a bunch of supers, then you're sort of wasting that luck if you fill up early.
Yeah, then you just lost a second. Yeah. So that's definitely risk reward, right? And some of resource management does come down to risk reward. Do you want to go fast or do you want to be safe? And sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so here's Fantoon. As I explained earlier, I actually don't want a fast here because if he were to give me a fast, he would also have to drop at least 4 missiles in order for me to get up to 15 here. Because when he opens his eye, we have to do 2 missiles and then 2 more missiles. So that would put us down to 7 missiles. And then in order to 1 round, we need to have 15. And each drop is worth 2. So 7 plus 8 is 15. So we would need at least 4 drops. So I was a little glad he didn't give us a fast, because that would have been kind of frustrating if he dropped us like 2 missiles instead of 4 or 3 missiles instead of 4. So he is going to give us a mid pattern here. And I do nail the 1 round. Sorry, spoilers. I know that's very unexpected. All right, so we get the 1 round. And when I kill Fantoon, I generally immediately look at my pace, okay? If it's a 10-3x, it has a decent shot at being world record. This was, I think, a 10:36 or a 10:38 or something like that, which is actually really good for a mid pattern.
Really good supers.
We are, a few seconds behind. You can see that with the PB video that's playing behind the splits over here. But again, this is actually a very, very good pace for a mid pattern, especially because I didn't get the CWJ at Moat.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, so looks like we're about 5 seconds behind right now. Okay. So I need to talk about this. Our resources leaving Fantoon were not the greatest. They're not awful, but they're not really good either. We only have 4 missiles here. And I mentioned this in the run, but I was talking over myself so you couldn't hear it. What this translates into is that I have to use extra super missiles in the next room that we're going to be entering. Because if I don't, we're going to run out of missiles and it's going to screw up like the inputs that we have to do to kill the enemies, and it's just going to be really bad. Okay, so we already are going to be lower on supers than I would like to be. And additionally, the other issue is that we only have 147 energy, which you can see with the energy tank and then this 47 here. And I actually am going to go back because that automatically translates into time loss. So let me go back just a little bit here. That's too far.
Really good supers.
Okay. So not this room that we're entering, but the next room, we're going to be collecting a super missile pack. And the optimal thing to do when you collect this super missile pack is to do a damage boost off of this spark. So you collect the supers, you turn and shoot the door, and then you do that while you're jumping up, and you hit this spark, and it boosts you back over to the door over here. Okay, assuming that you do it correctly. That being said, again, I only have 147 energy. If I do that, we are very likely to die before we get to gravity suit. So I have to make a decision here. Do I decide to be risky and go fast, or do I play it safe and lose time? In this situation, the pace is good enough that it's actually better for me to just play it safe. That being said, if I were even probably, I don't know, 5 seconds behind where I currently am, I might consider going for the boost anyway, just to try and make up some of that time. And then if I die, I die and we start over or whatever. But like, again, there's so much like invisible resource management stuff that happens in this run that you just don't understand it casually if you haven't been running it for a long time. Zoast, if you don't mind, like, do you remember what kind of like resource thresholds you would consider when you were running any percent for whether you would go for certain strats in wreck ship like this?
Well, I mean, the attic is kind of obvious with the missiles.
Right.
I don't remember what I did with health. I mean, I farmed before. I think I would have gone for a boost here maybe, but I don't know what you, how often you farm right before
bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting you bring that up, and I'll elaborate more on this a little bit later, but I was always really bad at the farming strat in there. So that was definitely kind of a key point as to why I did or didn't do those farms. But yeah, we'll be talking about that. This room is super cursed. It's really cool when it goes well, but the short way to put it is that you have to kill every single enemy in this room, or the doors stay locked. So you have to kill these guys. There's some more guys over here. There's a bunch more guys over here. So like, we have to kill everything in this room or we just get stuck and we'll lose a million years. So we use a power bomb and then we shoot the atomic with a missile. Now this is the super that I was talking about. Normally we would use 3 missiles on this atomic, okay? But if we use 3 missiles here, we're going to have 0 missiles, and that's going to totally screw up not only my muscle memory switching between which ammo type we're using, but it would actually mean that we'd have to use even more super missiles than if we just use one here on this atomic. So that's what's going on here. So we use a super, we use another super, and then this is actually a really cool strat. I think I got it. So this super missile is going to connect with both of these enemies over here on the left. I explained this yesterday on stream. The reason this happens, I think, is because super missile projectiles are actually 2 separate projectiles. And when the back one explodes first, the front one remains and can hit something else. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So this is a double hit right here. It's not like frame perfect necessarily, but it is fairly precise. And hitting this key hunter, this big white blob guy here, with a super means that we can finish him off with a single missile. Now it kind of jumped around there, so we'll just do this again, sorry. So we're going to double hit with the super, and then we're going to shoot with one more missile. Okay. And then we got
a super back.
We got a missile back and we got a super back. So resources are looking decent, but we have an issue here. And our issue is that we still only have 147 energy. So here I am thinking, okay, well, you know, I'll probably get an energy from this red bug, okay? Because this red bug generally doesn't give you anything good. And in this situation, even just one small energy drop will be the difference between me entering health bomb mode or not entering health bomb mode. Now, if you enter health bomb mode, that's going to impact the way that you get drops for the next segment, which will slow you down generally. Go ahead, Zoast, if you have something to say.
I was going to say, I think you made the right decision not to boost because of the power bomb count, now that I look at it again, because you want to be able to get power bombs from the crabs when you come out of here.
Yeah. And that's actually kind of the main thing with the health bomb is if you're in health bomb, you're not going to get power bombs from the crabs. So we're already thinking about our power bomb count, even though we don't need power bombs for another few minutes. we are thinking about our power bomb count here. Okay, so I killed the red bug, and he dropped us actually a super missile. So I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Like, supers are great, and I'm sure to get at least one small energy drop in this next room. Like, of course I'm going to get at least one small energy drop here. Okay, so I have implemented a new farming strat. I didn't come up with it all by myself. I actually messed it up a little bit, but this first missile that I shot could have blown up this guy that was here, as well as this guy. Unfortunately, it missed, so it only got this first guy. And, you know, he's probably going to drop me a small energy or a big energy or maybe a missile, or, you know, but we'll see. So, okay, it was a missile drop. Now we blew up this guy. Okay, so, you know, maybe he'll drop us a small energy. We're also going to kill this guy down here. Surely I'll get, you know, an energy from one of them. Surely I will. So, you know, we keep moving forward. Okay, it was a missile drop here. And, okay, so, you know, what's the last drop going to be? It is going to be a power bomb. I think this is a 2% drop. It might be like a 4% drop, but it is not common at all. You basically never get power bombs here. So, you know, I get those drops, and, you know, this is how this goes. Okay. I mean... So I'm just like contemplating here. I'm like, okay, I'm in health bomb now. So what do I do? I'm like, these are pretty good resources, what we have up here. We do have enough power bombs. I would prefer to have at least one more here, but we do have enough power bombs. We have a healthy amount of missiles and supers. So realistically, this health bomb probably won't slow us down too much.
Getting better at that.
So I'm trying to decide what strats to do. I'm like, okay, do I farm the cack attacks or do I skip the cack attacks? Do I want to worry about farming both crabs or do I skip both crabs? What kind of pace do we have? We are plus 3.8 seconds compared to the world record, which again is extremely good for any run, but it's even more good considering the fact that I didn't get CWJ at Moat and this was a mid-pattern Fantoon. Like, this is actually a really, really crazy pace considering those two things. This is the 24th best pace that I've ever had in any run, which again is a big deal at this point. And I'm realizing and contemplating the fact at this moment in the run yesterday, like, this could be world record. It's not likely yet at this point, but like it's definitely still possible. And I don't know if it's this way for you, Zoast, or for any of the other runners in the community, but for me, like, if I'm pursuing a PB or if I'm pursuing a world record, there are like these checkpoints throughout the run where it's like, okay, is it still possible? Yes. Is it still possible? Yes. Is it still possible? Yes. And especially in this situation with this any percent run specifically, less than half the time, like a lot less than half the time, by the time I get to Gravity Suit, it's over. Like, it's not happening anymore. So anytime that I get this far and I have a pace that is still good enough to world record, it gets a little bit stressful. So you're going to see my heart rate start to raise a little bit. But, you know, don't be concerned about that or anything. I was feeling really good yesterday. I was just kind of locked in. So, okay. So we're going to boost here. And I think I get the slope killer here. And then, yes, I did. So that's cool. There's a new farming strat in this next room. I opted not to go for it because I decided I was going to be risky to try to save the time. But then I messed that up. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, I break into impromptu song to calm myself down because I don't like making mistakes in this kind of a situation. Okay. So I opted to skip the cack attacks because we already have 9 supers. Now, we are still in health bomb, so that means that we're not going to get a super missile drop from the cack attack a few rooms later. But I decided that, again, it was worth saving. I think it's like a second and a half. If you can skip those 2 cack attacks that I skipped, it saves like a second and a half. And right now, my main priority is trying to keep this pace because the resources are good enough that if things go my way, I want to prioritize going fast if I can, as opposed to playing it safe. So this is going pretty well. You know, we're going to have probably another minute or so of like just generic downtime, like not a whole lot to talk about. Mostly these rooms come down to optimizing movement and not messing that up. That being said, this segment's funny because my splits have it titled easy segment. That is ironic on purpose because this is one of the segments where you're not really in danger of dying, but it's very easy to lose a ton of time here. And it's not always obvious why. So I just like to call it easy segment because it's actually really hard.
Vouch that. Yeah, you definitely can lose some time on the RNG from farming after speed, but otherwise, like there's so many little movement strats that you can just bleed time all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a super missile from the first Nova on the way down, which is actually, I mean, it's not like ultra lucky, but that's good. We also got a missile from that one. And if anybody's been watching me recently, I have been getting a ton of nothing drops from all of these farms the past like few days. And so it was really nice to be going through these rooms and be like, wow, like, you know, I'm getting a bunch of really good drops. I'm actually going to turn up my audio from the VOD here so that you can hear me. And I'm just going to stop talking for a minute so that you can hear how I react to this stuff. But we got a missile from that Nova. So again, like I'm feeling good. Like these are good. These are good resources. The only thing we're lacking on is power bombs. Right here. Dude. This is great. Can't wait to get totally scammed later. Awesome, dude. I can't wait to get totally scammed later. Little did I know what was going to happen in this run.
Oh no.
Okay. So, whoa. Almost messed up that monk ball there. Oh, thank you, Yuri. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to farm both of these hopper enemies in this room because we need power bombs. So we got 1, 2, okay. We still technically need one more, I think it's one more power bomb. It's not urgent, but it would be helpful if we could get one more power bomb. It's also not very likely that we will get one more power bomb. So I'm trying not to overthink that. I've come up with some like backup strats that don't lose that much time if you don't have enough power bombs. I'm pretty good at them, but they're not the main strat, so I'm not doing them all the time. I did Bubble Mountain a little bit slow, but again, like we're doing pretty good here. This is actually important. This is an important thing to talk about in terms of resource management as a whole. And I'll actually go back because it'll be a little bit easier to explain what I'm talking about if I just show it on screen. So here we have 94 energy. Something that is worth explaining about Super Metroid, and I alluded to this earlier, is that the drop tables actually shift the likelihood of what types of items you get based on the other resources that you have. So if you are full on energy, that is a tier 1 drop, and the other tier 1 drops are, so there's big energy, there's little energy, and then there's regular missiles, that's a tier 1 drop. And then just dropping nothing is also a tier 1 drop. So if you're full on energy, the percentage chance that you get an energy drop from an enemy that you kill goes into missiles and nothing. Okay, so you're more likely to get missiles if you are full on energy than if you didn't have it, than if you weren't full on energy, because then you might get energy drops instead. So keeping that in mind, Bubble Mountain is really interesting because a lot of people will go, instead of coming up here to the left, like I am, a lot of people will actually opt to go up to the right first. Okay. But I have chosen to go to the left. It's my main thing. I never go right because I'm hoping that we're going to get enough energy from this guy and or another guy up here later that we will end up full on energy when we get to the farms after Speed Booster. Okay. So having explained that, what do we get from this waiver? We get a big energy. Okay. So now we are full on energy. Now here's the other thing. You can save a little bit of time here if you do a damage boost off of this waiver as it comes back to go through the next door. But if we damage ourselves on this waiver to go through the next door, we're not going to have full energy anymore. We're going to have less than full energy, which will impact the types of farms that we do at Speed Booster. So I opt to just kill that, the waiver instead, because that way we're probably going to get another missile or maybe even another super, and we're going to be full on energy so that we can perhaps skip a cycle of speed bugs farms after we get Speed Booster. Okay. So we're collecting speed. I'm still locked in. Like, this run has a lot of potential. I'm excited. My heart rate's up at in the 160s right now. I honestly, like, I did not feel super stressed. I was just very locked in. And that's actually exactly where you want to be. So I'm able to do just 2 farms here. This is perfect. It's like, if we had more missiles, that would be great, but we don't actually need more missiles. The only thing I'm worried about is that we only have 2 power bombs. That means that we are going to lose some time here in a few rooms here. The super count is really good. The missile count is good enough that we're not going to lose any time. And I know that this segment has been very clean, so I'm wondering how much time we're going to save here. And the answer to that is a lot. So we're only half a second behind world record here. This is the 4th best pace that I have ever had. That's a big deal. Okay. So I am super locked in here. I'm like, this run has more potential than I've had in a long time. The best pace since 8 days ago. Before that, I think it was the best pace in a month, at least. I don't remember exactly, but like, crazy potential here. That's a new strat that I came up with. It's not, I don't think it was unknown, but nobody was doing it. If you do a little ledge grab and then a fast boost, it's a little faster. Okay, so again, we have an issue. We don't have enough power bombs right now. The reason the power bombs matter is because we need to use some power bombs to get through Lower Norfair movement quickly, and then we need 5 power bombs total in order to do the optimal Ridley fight. Okay. So because we're low on power bombs, I have to opt to do a different strat here than I normally would. And that strat, I think, loses about a second. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned, I'm less practiced with this strat, and I was a little bit nervous. And so what happens is I try to squeeze past this platform here as a ball, but I end up bonking. Okay. So this is a little mistake. It's not a big deal. But it's a big enough deal that I'm like, oh, dang it. And you might hear me say that. But basically, I'm just ever so slightly distracted by this thing that happened. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
So I wait. We do the short charge. I'm like, okay, we're good. It's fine. I get the short charge, and then I mess up the deboost. Okay.
Dude, why do I suck? Oh my gosh.
Okay. This is very bad. This is normally very bad, but you noticed probably that I did a pause earlier, a few rooms ago, to change my beams. That's also a strat that I came up with, and it's really good, except when this exact mistake happens. If this mistake happens, you lose a ton of time compared to if you had just waited to pause. So, unfortunately, at this point, the world record is basically dead because that was really, really bad. But
Dang it, dude.
I'm pretty good at shaking this stuff off at this point. My mindset has really improved a lot. Like it's okay. It's frustrating, but like you can see, like I'm smiling. It's okay. It's, you know, whatever.
All right.
It happens. It's fine. Okay, so we'll just shake it off and we'll just go through the rooms. But we're a good like 15 seconds behind now. Okay. This is absolutely hilarious. Yesterday when I was streaming, when I first started streaming,
No.
MM2 was in my chat and he referenced a very old meme from before I even entered the community. So we're talking like 10 years or more older, okay? And I was like, oh, don't worry, MM2, I got you. Because he was trying to find it so that he could share it in chat and stuff. And I was like, dude, I have a source for this meme ready to go in OBS.
I have a source, a meme source.
I literally do. I have it just in my OBS, just ready to show whenever I want to. And for anybody who doesn't know, I have some like secret memes in my stream where like if you type a certain thing in chat, it will flash a picture for like a couple frames, okay? And MM2 asked me, he was like, dude, you need to make this one of those. And I was like, okay. So literally like a couple hours before this run, I added this thing and MM2 just used it perfectly. So you'll see here in the chat, he is going to type hashtag Super Metroid. Okay, that's the secret meme that we have going on here. And as we frame advance here, you'll see this picture shows up for a couple frames. Right. Come on. It has to parse through my bot, and it takes apparently like half a second or something. Come on, you dumb thing. It's right here somewhere. Sorry about this. I can't believe it still hasn't popped up, dude. It's right here. I know it is. Wow, I feel so stupid right now. I should have like paid more attention to when it flashes. Please? Hello?
Old.
Okay, you know what? We're just gonna go back so that I can shoot. Sorry. I'll probably have to edit this so I don't look like a freaking idiot. No, I won't be doing that. Okay, let me just pay attention. There, okay. Somehow it skipped over. I didn't see it. Okay, so come on. Don't. Oh my gosh, VLC, why are you like this? Okay, it's okay.
I wish VLC had a go back a frame.
It needs
nice.
more stuff like that. It really does. But that's okay. It's okay. Okay, so right here, please show up. Don't make me feel freaking stupid again. Okay, here it is. So this is, you know, IGN used to post like these, you know, things, or games would post these things when they came out. You know, they're like, hey, like this person said, you know, oh my gosh, it was a beautiful journey by Game Informer. Oh, incredible. You know, that's what IGN said about it. Old runner Garrison quote, I wish I was dead. Okay, so I just lost like 15-20 seconds on a world record pace run, and MM2 had asked me to add this little Easter egg here. And he just uses it perfectly, like immediately after it gets added. Anyway, so that's just a really funny thing that happened in here. So, okay. So I'm trying to decide, like, how aggressive should I be through Lower Norfair? Like, realistically, world record's probably dead at this point. And then I was like, you know what? How about this? It's still technically possible to get to 26 because a lot of the time that I lost was from extra pauses. And in-game time, the 26 in-game time is my main goal right now. In-game time doesn't count up while you're in pause. So I was like, maybe I'll just like get a meme 26 here, you know? Maybe this run will be so good that it's like a 40-28 or something, and it's a 26. So I decide I'm gonna stay locked in. It's cool. I get a small energy from the key hunter. I also got a missile from the first key hunter. It's a rare drop. I want to say it's 4%. So again, just more indicators of meme drops here that we're getting. But having 20 missiles here is actually really nice. It makes the Ridley fight a little bit more comfortable. It doesn't actually help you speed up the Ridley fight, but it's nice to have those extras. Make a little mistake there trying to get through the Kazan. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, it's fine, whatever. Our energy is low here. And a couple weeks ago, I would have been really concerned about this. But I've actually changed my farm strats before Ridley, so I'm not concerned about the energy anymore. We have excellent resources, okay? Our resources are very good. I just got to make sure that I hit these farms, get the energy up, and we're going to be totally fine, okay? So I do mess that up a little bit. But I actually handled that mistake.
But you know what? I'll take it.
I handled that pretty well. Okay, so it's cool. We're losing a little time, but it's cool. Okay, the thing about Ridley, and I'm just going to explain this. I'll try not to take too long talking about this before we actually get to the fight. Ridley can give you a bunch of different patterns at the start of the fight. And depending on what he does, you can use more or less X factors at the beginning of the fight. You want him to do a specific series of behaviors so that you can get 5 X factors in, okay? There's also a 4 X factor strat, which is what was in the 4022 world record. There's a 3 X factor strat, that can be pretty good, but that's probably the worst one to get just because his behavior is really weird to handle if you get 3 X factors. Or there's a 2 X factor strat, which can be very good, but usually you're going to lose a bunch of time with 2 X factors just because Ridley's a butthead and you're doing less damage initially, and that makes the back half of the fight harder to optimize and all sorts of things. Okay, now lately I've been getting a lot of 2 X factor behaviors from Ridley, and it's been pretty frustrating. I haven't been like super mad about it, but I've had a couple really good paces get 2 Ridley, and then he gives us a 2X, and it's like, dang it, man, why are you doing this? So we do the first X factor, and then I do the second X factor, and he turns around.
Another 2x.
Turning around means that it's a 2X. Okay. So I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll just handle the 2X fight. So I start counting my shots, and I'm trying not to worry too much. I'm like, okay, like, world record is dead, 26 is dead. So at this point, I'm just gonna finish the run so that I can get a sub 41. Like, because I like doing that, you know. I at this point I had 74 of them, which is a lot. And you know, maybe someday I'll get to 100. Probably someday I'll get to 100, but I'm just kind of focusing on having a clean fight at this point because I just want to have good energy. Okay, he flies away at the end of the fight, so that costs us a few more seconds just because he was dead, but he flew away before I could jump into his claws, which initiates the end of the fight. And I'm like, all right, well, it's okay. We're just going to go for a sub 41. It's cool. Our energy isn't great, but he'll probably drop us generally enough that we'll be fine for the escape. Hopefully I get a good amount of supers and some missiles and whatever, like we're going to be good. Okay, so his drops spawn, and they look like this. So we get a good amount of energy. There's also a bunch of power bombs, which we don't need. There's 1 super and 1 missile. There was also 1 missile over here on the left that I already collected. Okay. So.
Oof.
1 super.
I hate this game. This is the worst game anybody's ever made. All right. I'm going to turn up the volume for a minute. Okay,
Super Metroid.
This is where it starts to get really funny, actually. People in chat are spamming. I have some audio redemptions. I actually changed the way that they work because of this run, because so many people spammed so many audio redemptions right here that they were playing and overlapping over each other for like 15 seconds, and it was really annoying. So I remuxed the audio for this this version of the run so that it wouldn't annoy people while we're, you know, watching it back and stuff. But MM2 says, Zenny, don't piss me off. I still don't really understand what he was trying to say there, but whatever. It's cool. Mess up that room a little bit. Oh, 73 with a 2x. So he's just mad. He's mad about the Ridley fight, basically. I'm still in a good mood. And honestly, like, that's the greatest thing here is that, like, I'm not super upset that I lost this run. It's whatever. Like, I'm in a pretty good headspace about this.
What's up, Drewski?
This room, I actually
slow right there.
just came up with a new strat for this. It's funny that I said that was slow because
It's good.
this ended up being a 14:58 room time, and like 3 to 4 months ago, I was getting like 15 3x at best in this room. So I'm actually really happy with this room time. This is one of the things that is getting better in the runs, and I'm really happy about that. So I did just want to point that out. Okay. So I'm trying to like recenter myself, okay? I'm like, we're just gonna focus on the sub 41.
I actually hid my room times, so I didn't know that. That's cool.
But yeah, Drewski mentioned the sub 15. I've been trying to remove distractions as much as I can. Okay. So this room is called, we refer to this as Three Musketeers, and it's because there's 3 key hunters here, okay? And you want these key hunters to do specific things as you move. So we're jumping up here, and we want this key hunter to continue flying right, okay? He does that. That's a good thing. Now we're going to jump up here, and we just want to be out of the way of a key hunter guy that's up here. We do bonk that bottom guy on purpose, by the way, so that we can just run through. Sorry, I should have explained that. So we have iframe, so we can just run through this guy. What we want this top guy to do here, and if you do the strat correctly, he will do a lunge, and he'll fly all the way over here so that he's completely out of your way. Now, if he doesn't do this, that can be really bad, because these key hunters do 50 damage every time you hit them. And that means that I can only take one more hit and not die, okay? It also means if I do take one more hit, we're going to be really low on energy. And so this is another funny thing is yesterday, I had already kind of developed a backup here, but yesterday I was practicing it a lot, and I think that's part of the reason that we ran into this situation. But this guy up here, he didn't actually swoop over to the right like we wanted. So what that means is he's totally in our way right here. If I try to jump up here, I'm going to hit him. I'm going to get knocked back down. It's going to be a big mess. So here I decided to do the backup that I've been practicing. So what we do is we actually jump back over this guy like this.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then that's going to make the guy up here at the top kind of float over here a little bit. And then we're going to do a CWJ morph ball to get up past him. Yay.
Ha! I survived!
Okay. So
Screw
like
you guys!
it's a little slow, but we're alive and we're not in danger of getting in health bomb or dying, and that makes it worth it, right? There's a couple people in chat here that are like, yo, that's cool.
Thanks.
Okay. Decent drops there. Mess that up a little bit. No big deal. Okay. So this is great. Really? Oh, sorry. I can do this. Really hope this run makes it. Would be a great sub 41 to look back on. You know, Warpios, I really hope it makes it too. Let's listen to what I have to say about that, and also pay attention to what Drewski has to say about
This
that.
run still has a decent shot of being a sub 41. It's going to be difficult,
but it's possible. It's still possible. It's still possible. This run can very def still sub 41, lol. It really depends on how the next two segments go. Next two segments. And then it's just gonna be luck and me not screwing up. So as long as the next two segments go okay, pretty decent chance that it's gonna sub 41. All right, pretty decent chance. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, first of all, I use a missile here. Okay, back to the resource management thing. I should not have used this missile, because using this missile means that now we only have 3 missiles. And in the next room, we need to use 2 of those missiles to kill Mini Kraid. And in the Kraid boss fight after that, we also need 2 missiles to do the proper quick kill. Do we have 4 missiles to do that with? Not anymore, because I just used a missile on this stupid key hunter because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't mean to use that missile there. Okay, so we're gonna lose a little time here.
It also feels harder to me to use a super on Mini Kraid, like to execute the strat with a super. It's a little bit weirder, at least in my experience.
It is, and that's the thing, is I don't even try to do that, because every time I do, it ends up worse than if I hadn't even tried. And a couple weeks ago, I started practicing how to do that again, but it's not this thing that I've been practicing consistently, and so I'm not comfortable with it. Yeah. So
you have to practice that.
Yeah, you cannot wing it. It's not the same.
No.
So yeah, I don't even try to missile him. I don't try to regular missile him. I don't try to super missile him. The cool thing about the Mini Kraid drops is that most of them spawn immediately upon him dying. So when we hit him with the speed booster, the drops are going to spawn immediately. Okay. And we're going to get 4 supers from Mini Kraid, because you get 4 supers from Mini Kraid like 99.9% of the time. Every once in a while, you'll get 3 supers and 1 big energy drop, but most of the time you're going to get 4 supers. Okay. So we got the 4 supers here. And this ends up slower because I couldn't do the fast strat. I mess up jumping into the door. Samus, you idiot, Samus. Okay. Now, surely Kraid is going to drop us some good stuff. Okay. And then our resource management will be leveled out. We're not in a good spot here, but really, I mean, as long as he drops us at least 2 supers, I mean, we'd prefer 3, okay? At least 2 supers would be good here, and like 2 or 3 missile drops, like preferably more, but like we have good energy, we're good on energy, we're good on power bombs. So we just need a couple missile drops and a couple super drops, and we'll be good to go, right? So, you know, surely we'll get what we need, or most of what we need, right? So, where are the supers? Okay, so we got 0 supers from Kraid. This is extremely bad. Okay, we have to have a minimum of 8 supers entering Meridia, or we're going to have a very bad time in Meridia. Additionally, we would really like to have more missiles too. But we just don't. So, you know, let's see how I handle this situation. Oh, wait. you gotta see my freaking face here. Sorry. Where are the supers? All right. So what do I do? Well, there's only really one good spot to get that many supers. Zoast, would you like to explain where the good spot to get more supers is here?
Mini Kraid. Oh, God, my voice. What happened to my voice?
That's perfect. Yes. Mini Kraid, but we can only farm him once, right? Because once he's
I don't
dead,
even have enough missiles to freaking. What
once
do I
he's dead,
even
he's
do
dead.
here, man.
Okay, so we're just
This
gonna
is
reload
so
the
bad.
room.
Apparently, I coughed and blew my voice out.
Okay, now the other thing is, if I wanted to be full on supers, I couldn't use a super to kill Mini Kraid, so I had to use 2 of my 5 missiles. And the other thing is that we want to use 3 missiles on the pirates that are to our left right now, because we want to jump fast. We want to jump fast through that door that's going to unlock after we kill those pirates. But if I use those 3 missiles, we're going to have different kind of issues for not having missiles. So Go ahead.
I was gonna say I can see why you use this run to show off ammo management, because it goes so horribly. It kind of proves the point, you know, like
Yeah.
why you, yeah.
No, it's actually crazy. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this run, resource management in Super Metroid is insane. Because if you have bad drops like 10 minutes in, you can actually see and feel the effects of that through the very end of the run, depending on what kind of drops you get after that. If you get scammed on all of your boss drops, like I did here, you're just screwed. Like, you just lose a ton of time, and there's nothing you can frickin' do about it. So in this situation, I opted to not missile the pirates because I want to keep my missiles for Botwoon. So I just kind of wing it. We jump through this door. We jump up here. I think I messed this up. No, I didn't. Okay. I actually... So this is...
Wow.
This is really cool. I figured something out with this room yesterday with the strat that I do that saves like 10 frames just by doing something very slightly different. But I hadn't practiced it very much, so I think I say here like, oh, let's see if I can do the thing. All right, can I remember how to do this thing now? Maybe. Okay, so the thing that I figured out, and I'll do this in slow motion so people can see this. Basically, TLDR, you want to farm all of the Zilas that are up above here, okay? Especially in this situation, we want to farm all of the Zilas that are up above here so that we can get more missiles, because we're very low on missiles. So we want to farm them and also to go really fast. So the best way to do that I have found is to do an upshot right here, which will kill the Zila on the right. So we're going to do an upshot. Pew! And then you want to jump up. You want to land on this ledge right here. And you want to do a spin jump and then wall jump check this wall right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to perfectly align Samus with this wall, so she's as far right as she can be. And then if you shoot a little bit later, you're going to be able to kill this Zila and this Zila and open the door and get through the door just a little bit faster. Because if you're not aligned with the right wall, you actually have to wait or you'll miss this top Zila. Okay. So I just play this.
Yes!
Okay.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, so we got the strat. And I was really excited that we got the strat, but what I wasn't paying attention to were the drops that we got. What kind of drops did we get from those Zilas, chat? Notice we still have 3 missiles, which means we got all small energy drops. There might have been a big energy in there somewhere. Doesn't really matter because I didn't need more energy.
Hell yeah, dude. That's so good. It's so much better.
The strat is good though. It is.
Do.
Do you
All
try
right.
to save a hit for Batuit, or you just need 90 basically coming into the Shine Spark here?
Most of the
That's close.
strats that I do with Botwoon don't take a hit. The only time that I'll ever take a hit intentionally is if I mess up, basically. And then I have like backups that will take a hit, right? So if I have 90 here, then we're good. I had far more than 90, so we didn't need more energy, but whatever. All right. So we're going to Botwoon. All right. Botwoon used to be a big pain in the butt. He's still a big pain in the butt. But it's a fairly consistent fight now. And shout outs to Zoast, he made me learn how to do Batuan strats with missiles, not just supers, which conserves our super count. So that's the reason that we actually want to have missiles here. You have to use missiles on Batuan in sets of 3. Notice we have exactly 3 missiles, because missiles do 100 damage and super missiles do 300 damage. So if you only use 2 missiles, you're not actually saving any supers. So you have to do 3 missiles at a time. Every 3 missiles that you use will save you 1 super. And we want to conserve supers. This is actually a good opportunity to talk about this. At this point in the run, the resource management that we're doing is for Turian. Okay? So it's for a part of the run that we'll be in like 7 minutes or something. I don't know exactly, but like, we're not worried about having supers for Dragon or after Dragon necessarily. It's really all about Turian. The one exception to that I can think of, 2 exceptions actually. There is a green gate that we have to shoot, and then there's a missile door that we use a super on to go fast. So we just really want to conserve super missiles here. Additionally, Batuan is very, very, very likely to drop regular missiles and not very likely to drop super missiles. It's pretty common for you to only get 1 or 2 supers from Batuan, but usually you get like 4 or 5 missiles. I mean, would you say that's accurate, Zoast?
Yeah, I think Batuan has a different drop table than a lot of the other. It's almost like a unique drop table that gives you less supers. It's kind of annoying.
It's weird, yeah. But we really need supers here. So it's better to use missiles on Batuan so that we can conserve our supers. Okay, so let's see how this fight goes. Okay, so this is like one of the best patterns that you can get. I think it's technically not quite the fastest, but it's basically just as fast as the other one.
I love this one.
This is a really good one. And this is another thing that Zoast taught me is if you actually wait to kill Batuan, basically you want his head to not be right next to the ground because of just the way that drops happen with this boss. So we're actually delaying to kill him until his head is turned upward here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our 3 missiles to kill Batuan. And then he's going to drop us a bunch of missiles. And then our resource management is going to be normalized. And the rest of the run's going to go swimmingly. So it's going to be great. So let's see what kind of drops we get from Batuan here. Da 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 da. I can't do it.
What?
I can't do it.
What is that?
Okay. So.
Appropriate.
What are these drops, man? What do I do? All right, so since we don't have enough missiles right now, we want at least 15 here, you guys. Because if we don't have enough missiles, the Dragon fight is gonna go so bad. Like, I can't even explain how bad the Dragon fight is going to be if we don't have enough ammo. So we have to stop and get missiles somewhere. Because if we don't, we're gonna lose like 20 seconds, okay? So I stop right here, okay? And I farm these guys, and I'm like, okay, I want like 3 missiles and 2 supers, or 4 missiles and 1 super, you know, because supers are still really important here. Okay, so let's see. All missiles. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's fine. Okay.
Sure, dude.
I missed the bottom one. Whatever. Who cares? Okay, so remember what I said earlier about how, you know, sub 41 is still totally possible as long as the next 2 segments go okay. Shouldn't have said anything. All right, here we go. Get the full halfy. I decide to grab that missile. I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter at this point. Okay. Time for Dragon. Dragon, thankfully, is a lot less stressful than it used to be. We have a much better strat now for Dragon than we used to. It's a lot more consistent. So, I mean, I get stressed out at Dragon, but not too bad. Like, it's usually very manageable. So the way that this fight works is we want to charge an X Factor right here. It comes out, we turn, we do a short charge, we move to this spot, we jump, the X Factors hit, and then we do a Shine Spark. Now, very interestingly, Dragon is the only boss that takes damage from Shine Sparks, and also she takes half damage from Shine Sparks. So it was intentional on the dev's part. As for why, we don't actually know. But the ideal Dragon fight is, they call it 2 in blue, and that's referring to 2 Shine Sparks. So we want our second Shine Spark to be the attack that ends up killing Dragon here. In order for that to work, depending on which pattern we get from Dragon, we need to do different amounts of damage. Dragon did not swoop here, which means that she's going to do a very slow goop strat over on the right. So I need to start short charging right now so that I can get underneath her and then use the Shine Spark to finish off the fight. Now right here, this goop is really annoying. Depending on when you start short charging and stuff like that, it can be managed, but if you don't know that it's going to happen, or if you don't react to it correctly, you can get grabbed by this goop and you're going to lose a bunch of time. Thankfully, I did know, like I saw that it was going, and I immediately used a missile to get rid of it. So now I need to use at least 5 missiles on Dragon and then Shine Spark. Preferably, I probably should have used 6 because I wasn't super confident about the opener, but 5 should be enough here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I Shine Spark. Unfortunately, Dragon did not die. Okay, so we are going to use this Shine Spark all the way over here to this wall. Dragon is going to continue slowly moving over this way, and then we're going to have to finish her off after the fact. Oh my gosh. As long as we don't get grabbed by one of these goops, the fight should probably still be okay, but we are losing a couple seconds to this mistake that I made. Screw you, Dragon. Also, because Dragon did not die with the Shine Spark that I did, we didn't get the blue suit glitch, which means that in order to get the spike suit or the spark suit glitch, what I have to do here is I have to do a short charge, and then I have to jump into one of these spark turrets. We're going to use some over on the right side. And I get basically one shot at, it's essentially a double frame perfect trick. It's technically a single frame perfect depending on the setup, blah, 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 whatever. I'm pretty consistent at this. So we do the short charge, we jump up. The way that it works is you need to unmorph frame perfectly or the second frame after taking damage, and then you need to press jump exactly, I think it's 10 frames later. We do that, so that gives us a Shine Spark that we can use at any time. I'm like, whatever, it's cool, let's just get this run over with. I glance at my splits, and I see that our best possible time is now 40-50. I don't know. Whatever. Zoast, if you're willing, what's the likelihood of getting a sub 41 when your best possible time is a 40-50 leaving Dragon?
Probably like 5% or maybe less.
More than half of this time is RNG. Basically, we need the Metroid drops to cooperate in order to even finish the run, but also, if they don't drop us enough supers, we're going to have to missile some of them, and every time that we have to missile a Metroid, we lose time. Because missiling them is slower than using a super to kill them. So that RNG can lead to time loss. And then the bigger impact with RNG is 2 other things, actually. So there's the Mother Brain fight. Depending on when Mother Brain uses her last red beam attack, and also depending on where she is positioned when she starts using red beam attacks, you can lose anywhere from like 4 to like 8 seconds just because Mother Brain decided to do something weird. Okay, so that's most of our our potential for a sub 41 right there. And
Good
then
cutscene too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing is that when you are doing the escape on the way to the ship, I'll push play here so that it keeps going. There's steam in the last couple of rooms, and depending on what steam patterns you get, you can lose a couple seconds just because you got hit at the wrong time. Zoast almost broke Oat's world record before I did, but he got steamed right before he entered the ship, and it cost him the time. And so Zoast PB right now is a 40:38, and it was literally because of the steam right before the ship. So and that's just RNG. Like, there are ways that you can try to mitigate it, but what it comes down to at the end of the day is it's at least partially luck. So
I kind of forgot about that because it's just like one of those things like, yeah, a Super Metroid, that's nothing crazy. It happens.
Yep. Okay. So another thing that I want to point out, I mentioned earlier that we needed to conserve super missiles for this part of the run. One is not enough here. We have to use this super that we already have to open the green gate that is in the very next room. And then after that, there is a missile door that we have to open in order to get into Turian. Missile doors take either 5 missiles or 1 super missile. So at a minimum, we need 1 more super. Optimally, ideally, we need at least 2 more supers. And realistically, in order for us to have a good shot at getting enough drops from the Metroids to even be able to finish the run, we want to have like 4 supers right here. And we have 1. Okay. So I literally decided in this moment, coming through this tunnel, I was like, the bugs aren't going to drop me what I need. I'm not even going to try. They drop me all energy. So I slowly turn around, wait for them to drop, and they give me 3 more supers. Doing this extra farm is, I think, 2 seconds. It's at least 1.5 seconds. Like, it's bad. Okay. So we lost some of that time to get the sub 41.
I knew that was going to happen. I didn't even consider leaving. It's like, nope.
Even this segment is not easy, not to lose time. I mean, if you miss breaking the wall of speed, that's kind of a common mistake that can cost you at least a few seconds, like, straight up right there.
Yep, the movement here is not easy. And I already made a mistake. So, like, we're bleeding time. 40, 50 best possible time. We've already lost a couple of those seconds. Like, it's not looking good, chat. It's really not.
All right, what do we got here? What's the
that wall
damage?
break is so nerve-wracking on pace.
Really is. I decided to just missile this last pirate to try and save a little time, because I know it's like, it's still possible, but it's super, super tight. Okay.
It's possible. If we get all the best RNG and I play super good.
40:55 best possible time.
All the worst RNG was front loaded in this run, so the rest of it's going to be amazing.
For a second there, I thought this was going to be the 26. I figured I would have heard about that, but that would have been a good continuation because
of your 27. I think about that all the time.
I think Behemoth's 27 too. Like,
they
didn't he get his first 27 with a failed lava dive?
With a gravity jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like every milestone in-game time that, anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a 27 because you grabbed an extra missile pack that you didn't usually grab. He got a 27 because he had extra pauses that he didn't usually do. I am half convinced that when I get a 26, it's going to be like that. And if it is, I will be super happy and I'll laugh my butt off and it'll be great.
I think that'd be awesome.
Drewski says, this would be the worst 40 by far. Lord Ostrich says, this is the best scuffed rub I've ever seen. He meant to say run, but I thought that was especially funny right there. MM2 says, dude, if you rip a 749 Turian right now, or to be honest. Okay. All right. So let's see what happens. Hey, Twin.
What is your PB Turian and what is your best Turian at this point?
I
If you don't
can't.
mind me asking.
I don't actually know what it is from G4 to ship. I don't know because I don't like my brain doesn't keep track of that stuff. But Drewski can tell you. He has a spreadsheet and all sorts of stuff. So
All right.
yeah, if he's in chat, he can tell you, or you know. But it's good, whatever it is. Like matching my best Turian is almost impossible because a lot of it is RNG, as you know. So
Right.
all right, so let's see what kind of drops we get here. Okay, so we get a super there. That's good. We get the grouping strat here. We get 4 supers there, so that's good. Good grouping strat there. We get a couple supers. That's good. I decide to be super aggressive here. It's not looking very good. I kind of messed that room up a little bit. Raven says, all the RNG was front-loaded when you're on the last split. Really sounds kind of cope, which I think is really funny. I have to use missiles on these Metroids. I don't have to, but having only 5 supers here, like, we already are in a spot where we're probably not going to get enough to finish this run. So if I can conserve a super missile by using regular missiles on these Metroids, it can be the difference. And I think it's like a second slower than using a super. So we get what we need. Okay, we got what we need. The rest of the segment was mostly very clean. We lost a little bit of time in Metroid Room 3. We lost a little bit of time in Metroid Room 4. But so far, I'm playing, like, really good. So I'm like, you know, it's still technically possible. I guess we'll see what happens. It's very, very unlikely. It's like a 1% chance at this point, or less, that I pull off a sub 41 here. That was kind of sketchy there, but I didn't get grabbed, so we're good. Keep going through here. Use that. Don't mess up the moonfall here. Almost shot the super too early there. Don't mess up the Zeb skip here. Okay, we're cruising. It's all good. Now, here's another really funny thing. I actually, for the first time in probably 3 or 4 months, like, I spent extra time practicing this exact strat yesterday because I was curious about the difference in time taking out Mother Brain 1 with 20 missiles versus having just 15 missiles. I don't have to get into the nitty-gritty specifics of what I found, but that being said, like, I was very up to speed on exactly how I wanted to do this strat because I spent like half an hour practicing it yesterday randomly for some reason. All right. So now our best possible time is 40:57. Okay. Mother Brain 2. We have to hit Mother Brain 2 with 60 charge shots. Okay? I'm not going to count every single one out loud. I'll probably say when we get to 10, 20, 30, etc. But the main thing here is, as I mentioned earlier, when she uses her final red beam is the key to how good or bad this fight is, assuming that you don't miss any shots, okay? And that is pure RNG. There are a couple of little things you can do to kind of manipulate it, but it's basically pure RNG. I'm also going to be saying step forward about 40 shots in here. And the reason I'm saying that is because when Mother Brain steps forward and then uses a red beam, it puts her in a different position for the cutscene that is about 4 seconds faster. So I'm really, really hoping, we call that good cutscene in any percent. I'm really hoping for good cutscene here. It's 10. 20. I'm also really focusing on tight charge shots here. 30.
Yeah, if you think about it, every suboptimal frame that you're later on the charge shot than you have to be, cumulative over 60 shots, that's a second for each frame that you're on average slow on the charge shot. So that it can really add up here.
Okay, so I said step forward there, and thank you, Zoast. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I said step forward there a couple times, and I said, damn it. And it's because when you get to the 46th shot, that's where I paused, she goes into red beam phase. And so if she hasn't stepped forward by the 46th shot, it's like a 99% chance that she's not going to. I think I've only seen her step forward after doing a catch-up. That's what we call them, catch-up beams or red beams. I think I've only seen her step forward during the red beam phase twice, ever. And I've been running this game almost literally nonstop for 9 years. So it's extremely rare that she would step forward at this point. So I'm not planning on that. Instead, I'm just going to really focus on optimizing my shots in between the red beams and really hoping that it lines up in a way where we don't get an extra beam. These red beams come out approximately the same like variance amount of time, but there is a little bit of variance that happens because Mother Brain's RNG has different states. She can use the blue rings, we call those onion rings. She can use the red beam. She can use the yellow laser eye thing, we call those French fries. She can use the bomb down here that's on screen right now. We call those meatballs.
Spicy pepper. Oh yeah.
Spicy peppers. And the last thing that she can do is she can just like wait. She can just be like, I don't want to do anything yet, and like pause for like 5 frames or something, and then re-roll her RNG and say, I'm gonna use onion rings, or I'm gonna use whatever. When she gets into the red beam phase, it's very likely that she's just going to use another red beam, but she can do other stuff. Okay, so we're at 46 shots. 47, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I was one low. Okay, 2 low. That was the 60th shot. Sorry, I counted that wrong. She was just about to use her last red beam. Like, it was literally frames away. So I won't talk over it this time. You can kind of get a feel for it, like how often she's going to use that red beam if you pay attention. And like you'll be able to see / hopefully feel it, like, okay, like it's coming out. So step forward. Step forward. Damn it. Another beam. Another beam. Another beam. Like, that's how close it was. It literally was like a couple frames, okay? So somehow I managed to skip the last red beam. Drewski is here in chat just absolutely losing his mind.
Bo way.
Well, MM2, I guess you're getting your wish, because MM2 said the thing about the 749 Turian earlier. No new strats here, bedside.
It's just very hard to optimally shoot your charge beams, because if you undercharge, then you lose like a full second.
Yeah.
So it's risky to go as quickly as possible, but it also saves a lot of time if over the course of the whole fight, if you can cut that margin each time.
Yep. But yeah, like on pace, it's really easy to accidentally undercharge by like a couple frames if you're trying to be tight with it.
Yeah, the thing that really makes it, I feel like, really hard is that there's lag in the fight at certain points, and that can really throw you off because you have to add that to the sort of mentally add that to how long you've charged.
Yep. The lag, and the other thing that gets me is meatballs because of the knockback. So when Samus takes knockback, she's not charging during those frames. So again, you have to kind of adjust a little bit.
If you have to turn around too, that also delays the charge timer.
Come on, Mother Brain.
What I was doing with my hands was I have it's a fidget spinner thing. I was doing it to calm myself down a little bit because I knew
so bad.
I knew that we still
Nice
had a
head
chance,
position.
but I also knew that it was super close. Okay. So that Mother Brain 3 fight, I said it was so bad. It was weird. I don't know that I lost time necessarily, but it was like it didn't feel good. But I'm pretty sure at this point that I still have a chance. And I had hidden my splits because I didn't want to look over and psych myself out. Because I definitely would have during the escape.
Whoa, lag.
I thought for sure you were gonna get a good cutscene.
I know,
Just a
right?
40. Yeah. I don't know how the heck you still get a 40 here.
Okay. So I've been talking a lot about bad luck in this run. It's showing a lot of bad luck. We have just one more example here. So the Steam, right? We talked about Steam earlier. Okay, so I mentioned something here entering this room. I said slop at the top. Now, a few years ago, I had this main strat that I always did here, where we get to the top of this room, and generally when you're platforming in Super Metroid, you want to ledge grab. Okay, what that means is that you break spin right as you're over a corner, because the more you jump over a corner, the more time you're going to lose, as opposed to if you do a really tight jump and land, you're going to save time compared to doing like a big arcing jump. Okay. So the strat that I was referring to, the slop at the top, is basically I intentionally do a very big jump here because there are two steam vents. There's one right here and one right here. And it is extremely, extremely likely that you're going to get hit by one of these if you do a big jump like this. Okay. If you get hit by one of these two steam vents, you get iframes, and you can use those iframes to get more run speed over here to the right as you're going to exit this room. There's a mound that you have to jump over, and if you don't have enough run speed, it just ends up slower. I've experimented with a lot of different things, and then a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to try slop at the top again. And I tried it, and it's super good. Like, it's been working out very well for me. I've had very good rooms doing it the past couple weeks, so I'm definitely going to continue maining it. That being said, what happens here is we don't get hit by this steam or this steam. We pass both of them. And what happens there is you're almost definitely going to get hit by another steam over here, which is going to make you lose speed and lose time. So yeah, I get hit by that steam, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll get like that really good pattern where we run off of this ledge and we shoot, and then this steam can like bounce us back like onto the floor really fast. That's a thing that can happen. Or there's another one over here that can do it as well. So I'm like, okay, maybe one of those two things will happen. Neither of those things happen.
Oh man, we didn't get lucky.
we didn't get lucky. Oh well, maybe it's still possible to get a 4059, but there is absolutely no way that I'm going to get a 4059 if I don't hit this first steam that's going to appear right here from the left side. What we need is for this steam to hit us as we're moving into it, so that it will knock us backward, so that we get more run speed with our iframes as we move to the right. Okay. That is very, very, very common that happens. It's like 8 out of 10 runs, 9 out of 10 runs that you hit this first steam from the left side coming out of this room, unless you have iframes, which we don't. So it's totally fine. We're going to hit it and it's going to be totally good. What happens instead is somehow it comes out like 2 frames later for some reason, and it knocks us forward. Yes, here's Zoast's reaction.
That's very weird. Yes.
It's so weird that that happened. Okay. Now, because that almost never happens, I didn't know how to handle this short charge to try and avoid another steam bonk over to the right. So I try, and I take another hit from this steam right here. Okay.
Seriously, I think that's the weirdest thing in this run I've seen so far. Getting hit in the back of that steam.
And we still got
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
a 40-59 somehow. And I don't get it. I don't understand.
That's so stupid.
I'm just like beside myself. I just get up and walk away. Like, I don't understand what just happened with this run. This run was absolutely crazy. Oh, I need to go back. I have to point that out, sorry.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
So everybody's like, hey, GG, you know, yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's so, you know, ha ha ha.
That's so stupid.
Drewski, lovingly dog shit run. Anyway, so I know that this was long. This was a 40-minute run, and we've taken an hour and 37 minutes almost to get through it. I know it was long, but like, you guys, I can't even explain adequately like just how stupid this run actually was. And that's why I'm actually really glad that, you know, Zoast could be on the call here, because like there are a couple points where I'm trying to explain and I'm like, but like people don't have to believe me. And then Zoast is like, no, like actually, yeah, that's really weird. And he's been playing this game. He's been running this game longer than I have. So anyway, that's the run. That's also like a crash course on resource management and how freaking weird it is in Super Metroid and how it literally ripples through the entire run. That being said, like if anybody in chat has any like questions or comments or whatever, like feel free. I really
Supers. Where are they?
I really like this comment from Drewski. Show this run to a 2019 runner to make them shiver. Like the idea of seeing this run back in 2019 just blows my mind. Like I'm just trying to imagine, you know, being like, if I were watching the run, being like super impressed, like, wow, like look at that one round Fantoon and look at this movement and wow, it's crazy. And then like you get to like the Ridley drops and the Kraid drops and the Botwoon drops. And you're like, how is this a sub 41? Because back then, 2019 is when we were first pushing into sub 41 territory with Behemoth's 4056, and then Zoast got a 4056, and then a 40, and then you got a 4050, and then you got a 4046, like, and that was like insane at the time, right? And those, like, I know that it's been probably a long time since most people have watched Zoast's 4046. But if you watch that run, it is so absurdly clean. Like, there were so many things that went right in that run, and it got a 40-46. And now, you know, we look at the any percent run, and there were so many things that went absolutely horribly in this run, and it was a 40-59.
Oh, guys.
Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Dude, shut up.
Zoast, do you have any like thoughts? Anything else you want to say? Or
This was so
Oh,
bad.
no, I don't think so. I mean, that's a really good perseverance 40 there.
thanks,
Say
man.
The
Yeah.
lava spark, the drops in the second half of the run.
2019
mini
was not
Kraid,
before Moon.
The
It was before we were going for 1 rounds, and
I don't even
there's no
know,
5x
man.
Ridley. Those are the biggest ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
The Dragon
There was
Strat.
there was no clockwise baby skip as well.
Yeah, that's a few seconds. The Dragon Strat was a lot harder and less consistent.
There's a lot of little things too. But
Red Tower, like that's a couple seconds between Ripper Skipper and some of the other strats that we do there. Everybody was worse at early game, like by a lot. So like climb itself, like I think I'm probably on average 2 to 3 seconds faster than I was in 2019 at least in climb. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. What was the sum of best at the point where this was your 4th ranked run? The best possible time at Wave Beam? We can look at that. Best possible time on this split was a 39:55. So, not realistically sub 40 pace, but good, very good for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, these are kind of the runs that I feel like get forgotten sometimes, but they feel so good when you're doing it, and you just feel like, yeah, I handled that so well, and I don't know, it just makes you feel good about yourself and gives you some confidence.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you said, runs like this often like they don't get showcased; they just kind of get forgotten. I really appreciate that you took the time to upload a bunch of your like any percent runs, regardless of the fact that they weren't world records. And that's part of the reason that I've been doing the same thing. Like I've uploaded every single 100% 112 that I've ever run. And I've uploaded every single sub 41 any percent that I've ever run, because I feel like not only is it nice for me to have the record of those so I can go back and like look at them and stuff like that, but I feel like it's a pretty good resource for the community too, to look at like, if you look at this run, this is a very, very good showcase of like how possible it is to get a sub 41 regardless of RNG, right? Like, I'm not saying that any run could do this. This run was definitely set up to succeed as far as Lava Dive. That's when things started to fall apart. Up until that point, it was phenomenally good. Like, most people probably never have seen a wave beam split like this, right? But that being said, like, it really is, there's so much in this game that just comes down to like fundamental movement, like just moving Samus quickly. It's really crazy how much that actually matters. People think that it's all about getting, you know, the fast Fantoons or the good Ridleys, and those matter a lot. And to get any percent record at this point, you're going to need solid boss fights, but they're not the only important thing. The most important thing is going to be how you move Samus, period. So, the heart rate was not, it's not that it was important for me to get a sub 41 here, Iceman. It's more that I knew that it would be really cool if I pulled it off. And I did. So, you know, I was stressed about it, but like I would have been fine if it hadn't panned out. It would have been totally fine. I've had a couple of other runs like this that were really close. Not as bad of RNG, but you know, big mistakes or really bad RNG or whatever, and they ended up as like a 41 flat, 4101, 4102, like that kind of thing. So but yeah. Thanks for joining, Zoast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always an honor to join, to be invited on here and to commentate for something like this. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love doing content like this with people, especially you, because you're awesome. But yeah, any other questions or anything, chat? Can I show the thumbnail for the video? Sure. Probably the easiest way for me to do that is going to be like this. So the run, Ostrich is asking about the thumbnail for the run. It's live on YouTube already. You can go watch it. It went live this morning. And the thumbnail that I made for it was kind of funny. So let me pull that up here. There it is. Oops. So, oh shoot, that's the wrong. There we go. Okay. Yep. So, anyway, it's just my freaking face of the botch wound drops, like, because I don't generally put my face on thumbnails, but I felt like this one was worth it just because those drops were so stupid. They were so stupid. So, yeah. The other really cool thing to me, as shown on here, is that this was the 75th sub 41 that I've had. I am a person that really cares about milestones. Sometimes I try not to, and I just care anyway. And I do have a soft goal of getting 100 sub 41s. But like, if I were to get my actual any percent goal like tomorrow as my 76th sub 41 or whatever, I probably wouldn't force myself to continue running any percent to get the 100. I would continue running it for the tournament, obviously, but like, anyway. So I think it's really cool. I thought it was super cool when I got 50, and now I have 25 more than that. So that's neat. But yeah. Anyway. Cool. Well, I think that's it. Okay, Ostrich, last question. What's up? Can we get botch wound faces an emote? Yeah, I'll think about it. I'm not gonna promise it. I'll think about it. It's a good one. I like it. So I'd say probably, but you're making me do actual streamer work. Come on, dude. I just want to show up and click go live and that's it. You know? No, that's cool. Thank you guys for showing up. I need to check on my family. I can't promise that I'm gonna do runs. I don't know. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Sassy's saying do it. So I'll probably do at least 1 or 2 runs. You'll be home soon. Okay. I need to check on the kids. And also our daughter has been sick, so I need to make sure she's okay. But I'm going to go do that. And then I'll be back and I'll let you guys know what's up. Zoast, thank you again, dude, for joining. This was really fun. I had a really good time. So
you're welcome. Hope you have some good runs, and good night, everybody.
Thanks, man. All right. See you soon.